Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. My name is Jimmy, I am the Scottish Geek Guy, and today we have another movie review for everyone. Not long back from the cinema seeing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, so let's get into it.
Miles! Wanna get out of here?
Oh! When?
Across the Spider-Verse picks up sometime after the events of the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think it goes into specifics about how much time has passed, but I reckon it's probably about a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Miles is settling into life as Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man quite well. Everything seems to be going good for him. One or two issues in school with grades and whatnot, but nothing too serious. However, across the Spider-Verse, in Gwen's universe, things aren't quite going as good for her. She's having a bit of a strained relationship with her dad, not so much of a good relationship either with her friends. So when Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, and a Spider-Woman, played by Issa Rae and Oscar Isaacs, not respectively, but irrespectively, when they show up and kind of invite her along to go on an adventure across the Spider-Verse, she jumps at the chance, and that sets off the chain of events that propels the movie's plot along. Various multiverse shenanigans ensue, and that brings Gwen back to Miles's universe. Miles learns about the massive Spider-Verse multiverse that is out there as he follows Gwen down the rabbit hole, so to speak. We learn just how vast the multiverse is, and the core conflict between Miles, Gwen, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 29, and everyone else is the kind of is the driving force of the film. Not everyone, not all of the Spider people agree on the best way to protect the multiverse, to protect the Spider-Verse, and that sets up the kind of the central conflict that propels the movie. I don't want to say too much more about the plot because I don't think they gave too much of it away in the trailers. Thankfully, most movies these days tend to give away far too much info in the trailer, so I don't want to say too much more on that. Suffice to say, the multiverse is huge. Some Spider people think that they should handle things this way. Some Spider people think they should handle things this way, and action. This movie is as much Gwen's story as it is Miles's story. Miles' story. So much so that I think if you did a screen time comparison, it would be pretty close to 50-50 between Miles and Gwen, and I think that was a good thing. There was a lot of Gwen's backstory that was fleshed out quite a bit more than the first movie, where the first movie really kind of, I suppose, focused on the relationship between Miles and Peter B. Parker. This movie much more focuses on the relationship between Miles and Gwen, and it fleshes out the relationship between Miles and his parents, also Gwen and her dad. Before I get into the review part of the review video, I want to say that I went in with really high expectations of Across the Spider-Verse. I loved Into the Spider-Verse. As you can see, I definitely have some Spider-Man merch already. Into the Spider-Verse was an amazing movie, Oscar-winning amazing movie. Not only was it a great superhero movie, not only was it a great animated movie, it was just a legit great movie. In my opinion, Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. It's better than Spider-Man 2, it's better than Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, and it's better than No Way Home. Come at me, internet. So I went into this one with really, really, really high hopes. What did I like about it? Well, first of all, it just looks stunning. It's absolutely gorgeous. Every frame of this movie is a work of art, much like the first one. I actually even got a frame from the first movie on a canvas. I'll try and grab a picture, a mobile phone, cell phone shot of that and put it, here. Loved the first movie. This movie builds on that one in terms of the visual style and just takes it up 1 or 2 or 4 or 10 notches. It's just gorgeous. It's sumptuous to look at. It's an assault on the senses, but in a good way. It really is a beautiful piece of art. The voice acting in this movie, as in the first movie, is just phenomenal. Especially the two leads, especially Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld. You can tell that they just put their heart and soul into their characters, into the voices of their characters, and it really does show, because you believe every word coming out of their mouth. You believe all of the emotions that they're going through. Yeah, the voice acting is it's just stellar. The action is top quality as well. Some of the action scenes in this, like if you put them in a mainstream, not mainstream, but if you put them in a live action movie, they would hold up just as well. They're that good. The relationships between the characters, especially between Gwen and Miles and their parents, are given much more screen time here. They're given much more time to flesh them out. There's one standout scene here between Miles and his mum, which I think they actually released as part of the promotional material for this movie. So if they did, I'll put one of the wee card things up there, wherever it goes. But yeah, it's just a complete emotional gut punch. It reminded me of the scene in the first movie between Miles and his dad, where Miles is, he's tied up in his chair and he can't speak, and his dad is on the other side of the door, and he's trying to have that heart to heart, and it was just, pretty close to rolling a tear on that one. Likewise with this one, there's a similar emotional scene between Miles and his mum on the rooftop, which, shut up, I'm not crying, you're crying. It's a standout scene for me. Yeah, so there's plenty of scenes with the family, there's plenty of scenes for the characters to kind of like develop and grow. But the pacing is a little bit slow, especially in the first part of the movie, like the first half an hour, 45 minutes, the first act of the movie. It's just a little bit drawn out. It just takes up too much time. I think the runtime of the movie is like 2 hours 15 or 2 hours 20. I'll flash it up here when I'm in the edit. But yeah, for a 2 hour 20 movie, it's the pacing was just quite slow at the start. It kind of felt like it didn't really get going until about half an hour into the movie, which is a shame because, there's a lot to love about this movie. Like I said, the action is great, but the action doesn't really start for about half an hour. So for those who didn't actually know, this movie is actually it's part one of a 2-part movie, or maybe it's part 2 of a trilogy. We'll see when the next movie comes out. It's kind of got Empire Strikes Back vibes in that respect, and that there's it follows on from the first movie. There's a bit of world building happening on for like the next movie, and it ends on a cliffhanger. Now, the cliffhanger that it ends on is one hell of a cliffhanger. Won't give away any spoilers, but at that point I was like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see the next one. Don't get me wrong, I really like this movie, but the pacing's a bit off, and it just feels a little bit slow, especially in the third. But once it gets going, it really gets going. I think actually there was a kid, about maybe 4 or 5 seats across along from me in the cinema, and I think he put it best at the end of it. At the end, when it flashes up saying to be continued, he was like, "Oh man, they do that with every movie now. Every movie is to be continued." And I think that sums it up well. The kid clearly enjoyed the movie. He was obviously a Spider-Man fan. And, he had the T-shirt. He had a Spider-Man hat on as well, and he had one of the collectible cups that was at Cineworld. Well done, Cineworld. I think that kind of summed it up. He definitely enjoyed it, but yeah, to be concluded wasn't something that he was hoping to see at the end of this movie. I think once the third movie comes out, this one, the middle movie of the trilogy, if you will be kind of viewed as the awkward child of the 3 movies. First one, stone cold classic. Obviously we haven't seen the third one, but I am mega hyped to see the third movie. When does it actually come out? I'll check and flash it up when the UK release date is, if it's been decided yet or not. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I really did like this movie. I possibly went in a little bit too hyped, having loved the first one, and we'll see what the third one is like when it comes out. I think the filmmakers had a bit of an impossible task in that, they had to follow on from the near perfect Oscar-winning Into the Spider-Verse. They had to follow on from that. They also had to set up, the third and probably final movie in the series, or trilogy, if they're going to call it a trilogy, or if it technically counts as a trilogy. Although I don't know what makes it count as a trilogy. Is it just 3 movies? I'm sure they talk about that in one of the Screams. But that's a different video, trilogy versus series or franchise. Anyway, filmmakers had a tough task following on from Into the Spider-Verse, setting up the third movie, which is titled Beyond the Spider-Verse. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler for anyone, because that's what it's going to be called. So going to go for, I think, 7 out of 10 for this one. For context, I would give Into the Spider-Verse 9 out of 10, maybe like 9.5 out of 10. And that's us. So 7 out of 10 for Across the Spider-Verse. If you liked this video, give the like button a smash. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know when those videos are coming out, hit the notification bell. And I'll catch you on the next one.